Hello, everybody. There's actually no official beginning to the show ever.
We need a theme song.
Yeah.
I'll sing.
There we go. Sounds like some bad 60s.
Oh, I have that.
Mark Goodman, Bill Totzman production. All right. So, folks, if you could use your imagination, and try to figure out what we were talking about before I actually hit go ahead and post this broadcast. What happened to the thing here? Oh well, doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm going to assume that we're still broadcasting. So, welcome to Season 1, Episode 1 of our show called Atheists You Should Know, of which I have 4. Well, 3 and a special guest who's not actually here yet. So,
is my video frozen?
No, it shouldn't be.
Okay, it looked frozen.
We have 3 viewers. We actually have more people on this call. Now we have 1. Okay, that's just an awful introduction.
Well, I came in twice, so no.
Yeah, that's what she said. Right.
Oh!
So, hello!
You stepped right off the bus into gutter down. That's good. Yay!
That's usually how it goes on my... That's right.
It's prodigious of the show now.
For those of you that have just tuned in, I'm going to watch this at a later date.
Much later.
The fine people in the bottom boxes are... let's see, from your right to your left would be Practical Magic 9, Pack PW Swivel, and myself, or what I like to call the P Show, because Practical Magic, Packard Pokes At Radio, Swivel, and Primate all start with P. So, hello and welcome to it.
Yay!
Yay!
So we will give the people in the bottom boxes a chance to, seeing as how we are calling this Atheists You Should Know, we should probably give them an opportunity to tell you why, in fact, that you should know them. No pressure, people.
No pressure.
So we'll start. We'll start with the lady on the show, Practical Magic 9. Take it away. Tell us about yourself and what you do and who you are and
what I'm doing, who I am. Well, okay, I'm woman. I was raised in church, and I became born again when I was about 13 years old, right there at the start, the Jesus movement, and I was just really ingrained in church and in God. This is why I had my series. It's all planned out. And I have 9 kids, only one of which is not mine by birth. And I've been a stay-at-home mom my whole adult life. I did attend college for 2 years, but I didn't get a degree in anything. And raised my kids in church. And I don't know. It was a long road. Anyway, this is hard. So when I was in my 40s, my oldest son, who went into the Navy, he started talking to me about how he had questions about God and he had questions about the Bible, and he couldn't find pastors to answer him. And so I tried to give him what I knew about the Bible, and I told him my testimony, and he said, but I just can't believe the Bible. The Bible is not proof of the Bible, and your testimony is not proof of God. Eventually he came out and told me he was an atheist. I took that rather hard, but I kept on trying to find a way to maybe prove that the Bible was true. Spent a lot of time trying to prove that Genesis, the creation story was true. Anyway, I homeschooled my 2 youngest, and one year we actually added the Bible to our serious study. We started with the New Testament in the book of Mark, and then we went back to Genesis, and the culmination of those 7 years of trying to prove the Bible just crunched. I couldn't get past chapter 3, and I said, "This is garbage. This is stupid. I don't understand. Why are there 2 accounts of Genesis? Why, the creation? Why is there light and then there's the sun?" And so I just decided, wow, the Bible's not true. And my faith in God and faith in Jesus, it was based totally upon the idea that we had original sin. The Bible was, God's word, and so without that, it all fell apart. It just crumbled so fast. It wasn't funny. So I wasn't immediately an atheist. I still thought there must be a spiritual element in life. I spent the first year kind of looking for that in other religion. But about fall of that year, I found Aaron Ra's White People series on evolution and creation. I found CDK 007, several other channels, and I just decided, wow, no, I don't see why I should pray to any other god. I didn't see any proof of any other gods, and that was it. That was about 7 years ago. So, yeah, that's kind of me I guess in a nutshell, that's why I'm an atheist. But what's been interesting has been since then just all of the other ways that affected how I see life and how I see the world. And it's been a positive change. I would say I'm probably more of a humanist. So atheism is just one small little bit of my life. That's kind of just a general of me. I'm done.
Hey.
Thanks.
That's good.
Hey, that was great. That was actually going to be my first question, your path to atheism, which you answered without me even having to ask it.
Oh, thank you.
So I was pretty excited about that.
Okay, yay!
Well, then I'll tell you what we'll do then. Hold that in your memory, people, if you can. And then what we'll do is we'll turn it over to Packard, who will tell you a little bit about himself. And maybe he may also answer the question that I was going to ask, which is his path to atheism, after he introduces himself and definitely tells you about his program. Don't forget to tell us.
Okay.
Go, Pack.
Okay, thanks. First of all, hello, my name is Packard Sonic. Actually, not my real name, but I obviously. But I run the show Packard Pokes At. It's we do news and technology, talk about religion, and we talk about a variety of other things on the show. News, general stuff. We have a little bit of fun on there. About myself, I grew up in a log cabin. No, actually, I didn't. It was a log studio, actually. No, actually, I did grow up actually a few times actually in a log house, so that's pretty close to it actually. No, that's actually true, unfortunately. When I was younger, I had to do some book studies and I was like in 5th grade or whatever, and I had to go back to the Bible to refer to something I had to do for school, and I said I was standing with my sister and my mother, and I said I don't believe these stories in here are true, and my sister exploded and said, "You're gonna believe it, or you're not gonna be allowed in this house." Like, oh, fine, whatever, I'll believe whatever you say, fine, That was when I was 12, so you tell the indoctrination runs real hard in the family. And I actually got involved in the Pentecostal church when I moved out in the middle of nowhere because, well, you're in the middle of nowhere. That's what you kind of have to end up doing because otherwise you have no social life whatsoever. And actually had a home Bible study, the whole 9 yards. Got more involved in the church for a while, and went to these meetings around the state, whatever, and some of the stuff just started not to make sense to me. And the one that started the road for me, that started the I would say deconversion or the skepticism part. There's a story about how this man comes out of nowhere and says to who I think it's Adam and Eve while they're out foraging for food or whatever, says you have to pay tithes. And it's like, all right, God makes this big production about making Adam and Eve, and then this guy just pops out of nowhere and says, hey, give money to the church for tithes. And it's like, where does this guy come from? He just pops out of nowhere. So that's for me. That started the road to more my skepticism of it, and because he just pops in, pops out, like, okay, there's no more other humans, but this guy just suddenly comes along. What the hell? So that started it down the road there, and then I took the same kind of path that she did. That path, like I considered myself. I said I'm going to take a break from the church and religion altogether. My ex-wife, now my ex-wife, wanted us to go to church. It's like, no, I'm taking a break from religion. I've had my fill of religion for now. And after a while, and after we got divorced, I was looking for one thing, and I don't remember what it was. And I came across why doesn't God heal amputees? And I got to watching the videos on there, and I was like, whoa, there are other people out there who have these same questions. And it re-sparked my skepticism in myself, and I was able to start studying this, and I've been an atheist now for about 6-7 years now. But then I really didn't come out until like 2 or 3 years ago, really. And what's that?
Why is that? Why didn't you come out until 2 years ago?
Well, because my family, my mother and father were still alive at the time, and I really didn't want to. I came out after my mother had passed, like a couple of years after she had died, but not so much until after my father passed away. At the time I didn't know that there were more other people on Twitter, for example, that had these same feelings, and until I found the atheist community quite by accident, because I tweeted out a couple of things and there's like related to atheism, and then the atheist community kind of found me in the process. So it was kind of an interesting journey for myself.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And I do run the show Packard Pokes At. OneLive.tv/Packard Pokes At, Friday nights at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Come on, chat with us all.
He's gonna end every single question that way, ladies and gentlemen. So just so you're not even gonna like radio commercials where the guy says 1-800-421-7122, 1-800-421-7122. Call 1-800-421-7122 for your free whatever, and give us your MasterCard.
Give me your MasterCard. I'll just take your MasterCard too if you wanted to.
Well, you can do that.
Just send me your MasterCard up. I'll run it right up.
As you're looking at your screen to my immediate right, PW Swivel, you have been with us before, and not in a biblical sense.
No.
So why don't you?
Well, I know you use this video. Why don't you share it?
Okay, the ball's in your court. Do you kind of do what those other two did?
Well, I'm going to try and do. I'm trying to try and do what they did, but actually, I do a channel that's kind of based on more high-end graphics, trying to introduce more of that into some of the what we do. It's entertaining to do, but it takes a long time actually to get one of those videos put together. A good 10 days because of my schedule. So my output isn't quite as big as a lot of other people's, but I try to make it entertaining. I came to as a child. I have an aunt she's passed away, but she was Japanese and raised in pre-war Japan, Shinto Buddhist. And one of the things I would ask people in my church about, how does she go to heaven being a Shinto Buddhist? She doesn't believe in Jesus at all. And eventually, they avoid answering those sorts of things, at least in the church environment I was in. But eventually they all said, no, she's going to burn in hell for that. But I said, but she's really a good person. That was my argument. And they said it doesn't matter. She's going to burn in hell. That's when I started to say, this is, even if it's true, it's really unfair. And I kind of kept that in my mind and still attended. It wasn't until 1981, in November, that a little girl was kidnapped out of a church and brutally murdered, 6-year-old. And then her body was dumped in a trash container. And that's when I kind of said to myself, if you're not safe as a small child in the nursery of a church, God's not looking out for anybody. That was how that hit me. And it really made me kind of take a look at all the promise of, God's love. Ironically, I became a prison guard a year later, and I was assigned to the unit of the man where the man lived who did this crime. And wow. I had to deal with him personally then, and I got disciplined. I really did not handle that well. I'll say that. He before he was caught, he had been hit by a car and lost his leg. So he had a disability. And the first time I ever met him as a prison guard, he was trying to get downstairs, and he turned to me and he looked at me and he said, "Well, aren't you going to help me?" Okay. Yeah, it was one of those things. And
bet you wanted to help him right down the stairs.
I did get him down the stairs. I'll say that much. And I was kind of a brash kid. I was very young at the time. But that was kind of a situation that really haunted me for a long time. And it wasn't until much later when I started seeing books by Christopher Hitchens, things like that, and the debates that he did so well, that I actually came out publicly with my position. But that was the journey I kind of went on. Most of it was just kept to myself. But after kind of seeing the public debates, those were very helpful to me. And so from there, that's when I decided to go on and actually have a channel. So that's my story.
All right. Very good.
Wow, that's something, man. When did that happen?
The little girl.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, Eagan, Minnesota, November 12th, 1981. She was found. Stuart Knowlton kidnapped her out of the church on the evening of November 11th. They were having a family group thing at church, and her parents were not negligent types. I mean, they had trained her to avoid strangers and all of that. But she was in a church and went to go to the bathroom during the production of whatever was happening, and that he had obviously been watching the church and that sort of thing. And he was in there, and once he saw her alone, he took her.
Nice.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah. Well, and you can imagine how that would impact, at least me and my faith. It was kind of like, if that can happen, that there is no safety net, there is no protection, there's nothing.
It makes Jesus' thing about God's eyes on the sparrow, all of that, just seem like garbage.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's exactly right, and that's what I felt was really, if this child is not important enough to save, because there's no lesson to be drawn from this. No. In my opinion, there's nothing you could learn from it. It's not about how evil mankind is. We already knew all of that. There was nothing that this could do.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, there was nothing
I've had that same discussion just several weeks ago. I was like, what about those women that were kidnapped and held torture for over 10 years? Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, maybe there's a lesson. They'll help go out and help somebody else. It's like, so God has taken them a lesson. So you don't think God could have come up with a better way of teaching them a lesson than having them be kidnapped and tortured for 10 fucking years? And that makes your God a fucking dick. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. God is a fucking dick. If it exists, it's a goddamn fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And not the kind that gets to get bleached either.
Yeah.
Well, I can hear the apologetics now saying, "Well, this is an example of why man is fallen. This isn't God's fault. This is man's inhumanity to man." That would have been the apologetics that I would have been told to.
Yeah, I told him, and I've told him that. I said the criminal that saved these people, that found that girl and called the cops, even though he was a criminal, he was more moral than their fucking God, whoever was.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, there's no way they can justify a 6-year-old being brutally terrified and abused and assaulted that way and then dumped in a dumpster. There's nothing, if you can prevent something like that, I don't know anybody who wouldn't. And I've known a lot of criminals. I mean, I went into law enforcement after I worked in prisons. And I worked the streets. I was a detective, and so that's all I knew. And I can't think of one that wouldn't have tried to prevent that. I can't. I didn't. Nobody has a morality that low, and the only people that could excuse it in any way are Christians. That could see anything in that's valuable. Yeah, and
there's nothing valuable about that.
Back from the dead.
Yeah, it's there's no excusing even in justifying that on any level. Trying to see some kind of good in that.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it a step further, actually. Could you imagine? Okay, let's just turn off our sensible hats for a couple of minutes, and could you imagine up at the pearly gates, right? That guy gets there, and God's there. I mean, St. Peter lets him in, right? But then he's like standing at the foot of God, and God's like, "So you're telling me?" It'd be like Don Corleone. He was like, "You're telling me that you went into my house and you took my stuff?" Yes. Making the abduction and murder of children funny on the Talking Primate Show.
Well, I do think
And that's it.
he did convert before he died. He did become religious.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh
So-
yeah. There's a video. There's a great video out there put out by the Thinking Atheist. He put out a video said this guy kills a girl and finds out that he's killed several other girls. And the girl he killed was Jewish, and he converts just before he goes to the death chair or gets put to death. He gets up to heaven and says, "Hey, I'm glad you're here," and all this stuff. It's like, what happened to the little girl? Oh well, she didn't believe in me, so she gets to burn in hell forever. I mean, she did nothing wrong other than get killed by that dickhead. So what was her crime? Not belief, so she gets to burn in hell forever because she didn't believe. And this guy gets to go to heaven because even though he's killed all these people, and at the last minute he believes, so he gets to go to heaven. Fuck him. And there's a lot of Christians out there that I know some of them personally say, "Oh no, if you kill somebody, you don't get to go to heaven." No. Now it even says in the Bible that if you forgive, He forgives all your sins. Actually, I did a video on this. It says, "Does God forgive?" or does what is the forgiveness of God or something like that? I don't remember. It's a short video. It's about a minute long. It's up on my channel at Packard Pokes At on YouTube. It's Bible contradiction.
You almost said, "Does God forgive amputees?" I'm like, well, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Does he? Does he forgive amputees?
Yeah, I don't know. Does he forgive amputees?
Sorry. I don't know. Isn't there a Bible verse why, like, if you don't have all your body parts, you can't go into heaven? Does that not exist?
You can't go in the temple.
I've heard that.
You can't go in the temple.
When I was
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, if you can't go in the temple, if your
Right.
testicles, you can't go in the temple.
All
I was
right.
thinking about that.
Do they
Some
check
people
this
start with
out?
T.
They check.
There's his balls.
There is a nut check.
Nut check. Nut check. Nut check.
And you're not allowed to
No, I was
cough.
just saying.
I gotta say no cupping, right?
Yeah, no
I was gonna
coughing.
say then they,
Right.
technically,
Cupping.
then
Oh,
technically, if you
Turn
if
your
a guy
head and
can't
pray.
get into a church, technically, Basically, if a guy can't get to church if he doesn't have any testicles, then women shouldn't be allowed in church at all because they don't have any testicles at all.
Oh, that's a good point.
Well, one would argue that the women in the Hebrews, they have a separate place they're supposed to sit and all that. They're not supposed to sit with the men anyway, so.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, they're not allowed to talk in the church anyway.
Party, huh? No.
Yeah, it's the original sausage party.
That's right.
Well, no, actually, you can't say
pork.
sausage because they can't eat
pork.
bacon. Yeah, it's
I gotta say, yeah, no pork.
It's a Lincoln log party.
So
I don't know what they would call it back then.
I guess you wouldn't call them chauvinist pigs then, huh? That'd be really insulting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's what they should have done. Instead of dropping bombs, they should have dropped pigs over there. I'm just saying. Drop bacon on them. You didn't have to drop the whole pig. Just drop bacon on them. That would have freaked them right out.
Oh,
what is this stuff flying from the sky? It's bacon. Oh my God. My life is over. What's killing myself now? I'm sorry. That's terrible.
It's raining something.
The only fun. The only bigotry is religious bigotry. That's what I always say.
I'm not.
Actually, let's.
I always say if you don't like your beliefs laughed at, don't have funny beliefs.
That's right.
It's bacon. It's
extraordinary.
Bacon. Oh my gosh.
How about this for a quote? Extraordinary idiots require extraordinary faith.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Which actually brings me to my next. Which actually brings me to my next question. And let's see, Packard, we'll start with you. What do you think the most dangerous thing about religious belief? Hey, okay, here's your question. about religious belief. Not necessarily so much. Well, you know, we could blanket it, I guess. What do you think the most dangerous thing is about religion?
The most dangerous thing about religion is pushing it on their children and shoving it down their throats. And then children die because of people's stupid beliefs. I think that's the hardest part about it. Is this happened in my own community? There was a number of years ago a young girl who had type 1 diabetes. Instead of the family taking her to the hospital for something that could have been treated, they just decided to pray over her and let her die. And then the courts here said, "Oh well, we're not going to prosecute you right off the bat, so we're going to let you go out and roam around for a while." And they went from state to state gathering funds for their defense funds, and then they still didn't get charged with anything. I think using religion as a shield for crimes against your children is bullshit, and it should be taken from the courts. It's supposed to be separation of church and state. If you introduce your beliefs into court, you should be found guilty automatically. I don't fucking care. If your beliefs are religious in nature, if you say, you know, I prayed for my kid to get better, and the kid dies, then guilty, automatic guilty. You might as well just say I was fucking crazy. At least that's an actual a condition. That's my biggest thing, is the harm religion causes, and the fact that it breaks families up just because of non-belief. I'm done. Unless you want me to give you another commercial, I can do that. OneLive.tv.
Now we know you're done.
Join us live Friday nights.
That's live Friday night.
All right.
I felt the mood going from here to here, so I thought I'd better throw that in there.
I just stared blankly at the camera as if it had frozen. Okay. All right, PW, your thoughts. What's the most dangerous thing about religion?
Well, I have to echo that.
Yeah, I know, because you just awesome video about almost exactly what Packard just said.
Yeah, yeah. I don't limit it to that. Actually, I think that is the key problem, is the physical harm it does to people. And there is a psychological harm that's done also. You talk to a lot of people who've been in Jehovah's Witness. the mental abuse. You've been in that, I know that, and you could speak to the mental abuse that goes on with that. But I also think magical thinking is very, very dangerous as a society in terms of dealing with solutions to problems and how we view other people. When you have a magical bag of tricks to justify what you do, like that, yeah, and yours is full.
It's kind of.
I think there's a massive amount of. I think most wars have been justified by using religion, although I don't think they were about a religion. But I think it's a great tool to use to control masses of people, and I think it retards our social evolution, our economics, understanding of economics. It justifies all kinds of really bad behavior in a global way, and I think that's as much of a danger as the individual anecdotes that I'm familiar with, whether it's on the streets of London and cutting somebody's head off, or allowing children to die in a repeated manner in one family. Those are anecdotes, but I think globally there are much bigger problems that affect everybody. And I think religion gives cover to people with bad intentions. And I think that has to be, if I were part of a Christian faith, that'd be something I'd be attacking on a regular basis, is the use of religion to enforce oppressive policies.
Interesting.
I know I was shifting around a lot, but I was actually paying attention to what you were saying, and I
Sure
agree
you were.
100%.
Sure you were.
Yeah, we actually covered this. We actually covered child indoctrination on my show just the other night. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
It'll be up on the YouTube here maybe later or something.
Oh, good.
It'll be interesting to see.
I'll jump in here and I'll just say that I'll actually add to what you said, because I think that one of the last things that you just said was how it can affect people on different levels, and I think the most dangerous thing about religion is that it retards science more than anything else.
Oh yeah, that's a good one, too,
and that basically does affect everyone, because there are diseases and what that aren't able to be cured because people think that a 3-day fertilized embryo can baby. I don't know how actually that how much of a baby it is. I mean, it's not viable. Anyway, I don't want to get into the whole. I don't want to get the whole zygote thing. Yes, well, it could be a baby. But you know what? You can run that. You can run that debate into the fucking ground. But you know, I'm sorry. A 3-day-old embryo is not a child. It cannot have a driver's license, and it cannot do math.
You know what?
You know what I mean?
There's women out there that try to use that. Well, states try to pass these personhood laws, and if a woman's pregnant, she can be in the carpool lane. The cops will pull them over and say, "Well, you don't have a baby there unless it's, or you don't have a passenger in your car." So you'll get a ticket. But they want to pass a person law bill, which would allow women to do that. All the woman has to do is just drive in there and say, "Oh yeah, I'm pregnant. I'm expecting." It's like, how's the cop gonna go? No, here, let me get out my little dipstick here. We'll go behind the car here, take a piss on this thing, and we'll see if you're actually pregnant. And then if you are, then you won't get the ticket.
Of course, they run into a constitutional problem there because the Constitution clearly says you have to be born in the United States or American, natural birth to be a citizen and have rights. Or a corporation, but you have to be born in order to have U.S. rights. So I don't know what rights a personhood would have since they're not a citizen. And we know how people here, especially fundamentals, feel about people who aren't citizens and what should happen to them. They've been very clear. So my position is, until you're born, constitutionally, you'd have to change the Constitution in order to make that work out anyway for them to have any rights at all. It doesn't apply under our system.
Yeah.
That's about right, too.
All right. Practical magic. Most dangerous thing about religion?
I guess it's just how it retards everything. I've been thinking about it. I was trying to make a video about it, and children are born with magical thinking. And in a way, it's kind of how they approach a scientific mind. They're testing things out. They don't have all the information, but they figure that because they jump up and down 3 times, and do this, that X is the result. Even if a kid doesn't have Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny and all these other things, taught to them, that these are stories, these are pretend things we talk about, kids will make up their own stuff for the most part. And kids, to varying degrees, have this kind of magical thinking. I find it interesting why religion is the one magical thing that carries on from childhood into adulthood, and it's because especially in a religious family, they are indoctrinated from the time before they even can talk. They are baptized. They are brought to church every day. Yeah, every day. Sorry, depends on what church you go to, I guess. Every week they have all of the. Yeah, no. And not only are they brought there, but they are being modeled by their parents and by other adults and authority figures around them. They've got some man with a suit or a robe standing up there reading out of this big old holy book that everybody reveres. They're singing songs. There's all the ceremony. And so long after a child is old enough to be, reach the age of reason, and he sets aside Santa Claus and Easter Bunny and fairies, religion's retained. And I think it's why, even though a lot of, not all the time, a lot of times kids through their high school years begin to walk away from the church and they go to college and they think about it, when they create a family, that pulls them back in, and it's just, I just think it's really, it sucks. And I think I look at my life and I know that I based so many of my decisions on religion and on prayer and on God, and I was an obedient child. I was a very obedient daughter, and I was taught not to question too much. I mean, when my father said something, that was it. And that kind of transferred over to my husband, my first husband. It also transferred over to God mostly. And so that whole wait and see, it ran everything. It affected. And how it was taught in church affected my whole life. And so, again, I guess I think about my own life too much, perhaps. But I don't know how else to look at the world except at just trying to digest it. And I go, well, if it affected me like this, how is it affecting other people? My 2 oldest daughters are themselves still involved in church. I'm just thankful that they aren't. They're not so brain dead that they don't accept other things, but. It's hard. I see that one of my daughters, she's always posting on Facebook, pray about this or pray about that, and I just keep saying, honey, I hope you're not just praying about it, okay? It's created a little bit of friction there, and I find that sad. I would love to see them be more free of all of that. It's too invasive. I hate that. It's the subtle. It's the dripping water rather than the flood that really bothers me about religion and how it undermines things. So that's pretty much it. That's my contribution.
That's a good
to
one
this.
too.
Thank you.
Yeah. See, we're learning here, people.
Yep.
What after?
I'll get rid of it. There was so much silence. I get ready to throw another commercial in there.
Yeah, there you go. Don't forget Packard Pokes At live on TV Friday nights.
That's right.
9 o'clock Central Standard Time.
10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. Central.
Thank you.
All right. So here's probably the only segue that I'll actually have while we're here today. And here we go. Speaking of dangerous things, who's your favorite creationist?
My favorite?
Practical Magic. We'll start with you.
Oh yeah.
Creationist. I'm stumped. Oh shoot, Carl Baugh.
It's got to be one.
Carl Baugh.
Okay, for those of you who don't know who Karl Baugh is, tell us who Karl Baugh is. That would be me, actually.
Thank you.
I am not aware of this person. Or maybe I am, I just don't put it on Facebook.
Oh, I can't think of his show. It's on TBN, and he's the one that you usually see creation in the Bible, and usually he's with, the pretend paleontologist. Big fat guy. Oh.
Juby?
Juby! Thank you. You usually see him with Ian Juby. Yeah, I actually paid attention to that show. Maybe I should say Ian Juby. Ian Juby.
Paid attention is probably a big, is probably a little bit much of a stretch.
Well,
It's hard for me to pay attention to those people. I mean, usually it's like...
no, I mean, when I was a Christian, I did. I actually thought that the whole water vapor. I mean, I watched that show and going, oh, look at this. This is the water canopy. That must be true. That must be real. I love the videos now where they talk about what would actually happen if we had this, all this water up there. I'm going, oh wow. Yeah. I was distracted by shiny things.
Ooh, shiny thing.
Shiny.
You struck a nerve,
You
I
have
guess.
Oh yeah. I guess I'm not sure where to go with that question. That's my favorite, as in most ridiculous. Yeah, the same ones I
Yeah, there you
listened
go.
to when I was a Christian. Yeah.
Okay.
Karl Baugh and Ian Juby.
We'll throw the same question over to you, PW. Who's your favorite creationist and why?
Well, it used to be Kirk Cameron, but I've recently moved on to Stephen Baldwin because he can present the argument that I find most interesting about. He did a video about if evolution is true, why are there still apes? Why haven't they? Yeah, and I thought, wow, this guy is he is a Baldwin. And not the brightest, but he is a Baldwin, and that's the kind of thing I kind of look forward to, is seeing how he explains how the world works. Kind of amazing, but yeah, he's my favorite. I saw him with a whole group of people, and they all nodded their heads like, "There it is, there it is. There's still apes around." So, how'd that happen? I thought, boy, this guy is deep.
Wow. Yeah.
Deep as a shallow puddle.
I
Yeah.
wasn't aware that he was promoting that train of thought. I know he's done Christian movies.
No, he's really taken the forefront of this
Oh my
battle,
God.
and he's really he's an onward Christian soldier like there is no other. I was impressed. Kirk Cameron's impressive. I agree, but this guy is the top of he's the king. He's the king.
Wow.
Well, you should probably. I would ask him the question. How about? Let's see. How about this one? If there are no more Greek tragedies being written, why are there still actors?
He's not going to fall for that. This guy is too good.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. You're going to have to do better than
Nailed
that.
him right there.
No, you're going to have to do a lot
Thought
better
I
than
nailed
that.
him.
Yeah.
If we come from England, why is there still England?
That's right. That's right. My daughter and I, we have some fun. We have some fun with that. You know. So there's still dogs. Why is still Jesus?
Yeah,
Doesn't make any sense.
that one is.
X
That one
is
doesn't make any sense.
X is X. Okay. Packard, your
Yes.
favorite creationist.
Well, I don't follow these creationists too much because I like, having intelligence in my head. And every time I watch these people, I feel like my IQ drops about 5 points, and I have to get up and, watch American Idol, and it comes back up again.
Oh.
Sorry, American Idol fans. Just kidding. No, if I were to pick one, it would have to be Ken Ham, because if there's anybody he says, well, family didn't come from no monkey. If you look at him, he's got these big ass sideburns and things. If there's anybody that looks like an ape, it's him.
Yeah, I think he
That's
looks
the only
like a
reason
goat.
why, because my family didn't come from apes, but he looks like a goddamn ape. If there's anybody that looks like an ape, it's him. This must be our special guest here. It is the Peace Show. It is.
Yes, actually. Wow. Go full frame, Peter. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Some of you may not know him by his real name. Some of you would probably know him by his hair, at least until fairly recently. Oh, what did you do?
Is that Peter?
Yeah. It is
Oh,
me.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is a big change.
Huge.
I am not familiar with him. Of course, he's probably not
Essence of
familiar with me
Thought?
either.
Essence of Thought?
Thought.
I'm sorry, Essence of Thought?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I subbed to your channel not too long ago.
Yeah.
From
it
across
is a very
the
big
pond,
change.
ladies and
I did not recognize you. I did not.
That's why I also changed my personal icon.
Wow.
Peter, turn around for a second. I want to see the back. Oh, for Christ's sake. Oh. I
So
hope
we
you
live?
donated
Yeah.
it.
Oh, so we are
I
live.
guess
We
they
are
lots
live.
of love,
Right.
huh?
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah,
It
you're
looks
late.
good.
Is it like
Yeah.
different out there by you? Did I tell you the
I
wrong
did
time?
message you on Facebook. You know, when you would message me in private messages, you said 1 o'clock EST. I didn't realize you had changed it to 3 EST. So I'd arranged the whole thing to be then. But I ate for you. I ate quickly for you. Yeah, that's how generous I am. Just take that. You know, I ate like complete. So I had to change my T-shirt after I was finished eating because of you, just so I could eat quick enough.
I did all these things for you, my friend.
I did it
We need
for you.
well, Peter. We
Did it
need to
for
bring you up
you.
to speed here. We've had a couple of questions, and since you've missed out on most of them, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and reboot now for the first. Well, notwithstanding. Oh, first of all, I have to ask you: did you donate your hair at least to somebody? Like,
Yes,
like a
it went
young
to the
girl
little,
with
you know,
leukemia?
no, it went to the blanket kid down the street. You know, he's stuffing blankets with it.
Stuff in blankets.
He said there was at least enough for free there, so
I'd have to see some before pictures to actually get a frame of reference on that myself.
Oh,
Actually,
I'm sure.
his 1,000 sub, his hair was really, really long. Your 1,000
Oh, yeah,
sub
it was.
video, yeah. Hanging in your eyes. You kept pushing it away.
that's partially why I cut it.
Yeah.
He can probably hear better now, actually, because the hair was probably getting in his ears.
That hair ain't coming out of my ears, it's going
right.
in my ears.
Now that he can hear himself, suddenly he starts speaking with an American accent.
Yeah, or Scottish one, you know.
Okay.
Think about a British accent if that makes it any better.
No, Packard, that does not help.
I'm sorry for destroying your show.
No. No, since
No,
we're
that's my job. I'm just doing the show.
since we have you, ladies and gentlemen, this is the lovely and talented Essence of Thought. Probably one of the smartest children I know on YouTube.
I'm 18, I'll have you know.
18? Hell, I've got computers older than you.
That's right.
Well, come on then.
That's right. Yes, I've got pubic lice older than you. So, saying.
I wasn't going to go there.
Sticking
They
with
evo-
the P theme, I
now, you
guess.
They have evolved to a higher dimension.
Is
okay.
the C8 hypothesis, you know, but the pubic lice ape hypothesis.
Right. So what we're gonna do?
The
What?
pubic lice, the Ken Ham hypothesis is more like.
That's right. So we're gonna just run the risk of turning this into the Essence of Thought show. But we're gonna ask you the same 3 questions. So since you seem to be very matter of fact, they're not going to drone on as much as the American versions of the questions that I asked. So the first thing we did is everybody told a little bit about themselves and how they came to atheism. I know your videos illustrate this, but for the 18 people that are still painfully engaged,
the 18 wonderful people that had the patience to wait this long for me to turn up. Yes.
That's right. This is your special guest. He actually did. He's not special.
Yeah, it's fashionable.
I don't mean in a short bus kind of way.
It's fashionable to be late. So yes. So
yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to be an atheist.
Well, I am British. That's one clear thing. I run a YouTube channel like most of the other people here. Essence of Force is just a basic vlogging channel. In my spare time, I run my college's LGBT support group. I also have the project going on with the Atheist Hub, which is, I was the founder of that group, and that hosts content for other YouTube atheists that are starting up, or small-time YouTube atheists. So, we host it, get them more traffic, hopefully more subscribers to help them continue going along their journey and creating new content. It's always supported to get new subscribers. How did I come to atheism? It was a really long journey because I used to be Christian. Well, at least I used to consider myself Christian, and then I did read the Bible, and what happened is I went to this kind of stage where I like to call it the invisible sniper syndrome, where I had this whole idea that there was someone in the sky, that any moment could just click a finger and I'd be dead. So, I was going through a stage of depression, anxiety, and then I didn't go from that straight away Christian to atheist. I actually went to anti-Christian, if you like to call it, the other side. I believed that the Christian God existed. I believed he was an utter douchebag, and, I was going to do everything that I could. Yes, you like my British language. I would do everything I could to, kind of just defile this whole image. But, because of that, of course, it kind of forces me out into a certain community of people, non-believers, skeptics, etc. as well. They must have looked at me really weird, I hated this God that had never been proven to exist, etc. But, of course, science lessons got better. I remember one of my teachers, he was called Mr. Stevens. He was a brilliant biology teacher. He tried to have us disprove an invisible invisible polar bear. So he's like, he was showing us the whole fact that he can't disprove something, so you shouldn't accept that as a reason for existence, etc. So that just caught up with me. I researched the areas more, the scripture more, and through time, I eventually came to, lacking the belief in a God. I rejected that stance. So that's how I came to it, really.
I like the invisible polar bear thing. That's a brilliant.
No, he stole that. Don't you remember? You hold up a blank piece of paper. It says, "What's this?" And you're like, "It's a polar bear in a snowstorm."
Yes, I've seen that one. Yes. He went just as long as I don't know. He went just as long as we did. I don't know why you said we droned on and on.
Well, because we're Americans and we do that.
Because I'm British, and whatever I say sounds fabulous.
That's right. No, Janet, I got to ask Peter just a quick question here. You said you started the Atheist Hub?
Yes, I was the founder of that.
Oh, that's excellent. I've had several of my videos put up on there.
I do watch you guys, I'm not that high. I don't like sit with a white shirt, black tie, black suit, etc. Just sitting there. So what are the statistics on the hub? I do actually go through and I do watch what you guys put up, etc. So
I was going to say, the first time I used your hub, I went from, I gained 8 followers, and this last time I gained like 20 followers or 40 followers, something like that. So.
Mm-hmm. It's because such great people as Swivel, he's done kind of call out for us where the blimp came along, etc. The Living Dinosaur's done call outs for us. We've had so many great people that have done call outs, and even the small people, they always had 2 or 3 subscribers. Yes, they know we see. They had several subscribers, and it creates a community, and this community is an active one because they are seeking out, they're going subscribe to this channel because they want to see more content. They want to see what you guys have.
Well, they don't want to see what I have,
Cool.
that's for sure.
I love this stuff.
We've seen what you have. You've got a skeleton in there.
Right. They're older than Peter, remember? All right, moving on. I don't want to bring it back to pubic lice. So, Peter,
I don't want to talk about Ken Ham either.
What's the next question for the group was, what do you think the most dangerous thing about religion is?
The most dangerous thing about religion is the legitimate authority, I'd suggest, because as a psychology student, we do Milgram, etc. Milgram was an experiment. He did studies in the 60s and 70s. If you don't know the experiment, he would get random, volunteers, etc., naive participants to. They'd say that it was a test to see how people would learn under pain. So what they do is have this naive participant, do ask some questions, and if every time the other person got it wrong, they'd give them a slight electric shock, and it would gradually increase. And one of the reasons that it was 60% of people in the test, and these were just people come off the streets. They met the person that they were testing on. So they'd never met them before except for that moment, and 60% of people were capable of going the full way to voltage that the person stopped responding for a while, and it was marked XXX. It had low voltage, medium voltage, high voltage, XXX. And after so long, the person just stopped replying, so they just kept increasing the shock. And one of the reasons was legitimate authority. Now, I look at the religious text, especially with monotheistic religions. This is a key thing. There is that one ultimate authority, and that makes it very easy to wield, and it makes it very dangerous. So that's whereas a polytheistic religion, with a polytheistic religion, you've got so many different gods saying different things. But it seems to be the best thing is, of course, no gods. The second best thing is lots of gods. The worst thing is one god. It's kind of an odd trend with it. So that's what I suggest is possibly the most dangerous thing.
I've seen that, and I've heard about that today. I remember studying it myself, actually. They show that when these people who claimed to be Christian, they were actually the ones pushing out more of the voltage than the people who did not believe in a god?
That might have been a variant of it, but I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, that was a variant of it. Yeah,
another thing is
a podcast on just recently about that.
Another factor that played into it was something called agentic state, and this is the whole idea that the researcher kept saying, "Well, I'll take responsibility for what happens." Now, of course, when they have God on their side, they expect the God to take, full responsibility. They're told that Jesus will take their sins, etc. That's another form of agentic state. So it becomes very dangerous at that point.
Interesting. Yeah, I remember that.
That sounds like a horrible experiment.
It does sound like a horrible experiment, but there was really actually nobody attached to the sensors on the other side.
It was pre-recordings to keep it, so they could replicate it. It was pre-recorded. All they did is they saw the person, they shook their hands, the other person went into a different room on the other side of the wall, and so they kept electrocuting them. So, but of course, it was just a pre-recorded scream. So.
Yeah, and they wouldn't actually there was nobody actually connected to the other side. That's the best part about it. It was a psychological test to see how far they would actually push. It was argument of the authority, how much of the authority would you follow towards. If someone said, "No, just go ahead and keep doing it," and if they refuse to or not, some people would just say, "Oh, well, you say you're the one who's in charge here," so I kept pushing up the voltage. They kept pushing up the voltage.
This was used, to look at how things occurred in Nazi Germany, etc. There are four factors. It was the legitimate authority, which I've explained, the agentic state, which is someone to take responsibility, a buffer, and this is because they were in different rooms. They couldn't actually make eye contact with the person. If you have an executioner, they often won't look at someone. They'll turn them around. They'll shoot in the back of the head or something. It's to create that buffer. It's an apathetic block. It blocks any empathy from occurring. And the other one was gradual commitment, because the shocks slowly went up in intensity. They gradually got more and more committed to what happened. So.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to put a downer on the show.
Packard Pokes At.
That's right. Live Friday nights on live TV. Okay, so the last question that I've asked so far is, who is your favorite creationist? I'm sure you have one. And why?
This is actually a hard one.
Really?
I'm probably going to go say Jason Burns. Because he dances. No other creationist I know does that. And no other creationist I know dances. And he dances with pizza as well.
What?
He's danced with
He
frozen
dances with a
pizza. Yeah. He's once danced. You know those frozen pizzas that you get?
Okay.
He danced in front of the camera with one of those before. I was like,
You just gave me the head scratch of the night.
Now I've got to look that up. That's
sadly he's taken it down. He takes all his videos down now and then. He's an absolute crazy guy.
Wow.
Yeah. The worst one, there was one video that he was in where he was like, he comes in, okay, Atheist, and he does his chat, etc. Oh, I was going back in a second. I was going to run to the toilet, Atheist. He runs off, goes to the toilet. You hear it flush. There is no way he had enough time to wash his hand from the moment that he flushed it when he got back to the camera. There is no way.
hey, we're keeping
It's
up
because
with
he's actually naked in those. He's actually naked from the waist down, and he just lets everything hang out. He doesn't actually have to touch anything.
No. He doesn't have to worry about it. He's been washed in the blood of the Lamb.
Right. Don't you know that prayer does the same thing as disinfectant?
I did know that.
I prayed over my hands, they're clean.
Wow. Okay, so that brings us all up to speed. Everybody knows Essence of Thought and Packard Pokes At live every Friday night. No,
Friday nights at 9 p.m. Central Time.
that's right. Okay, so my favorite creationist is Ian Juby, hands down, because he's like comically hilarious and at best. I just have a thing for the outdoorsman best. So, but that's my own personal bias.
Well, I was born in a log studio, you know.
And he's Canadian, which makes it even funnier. And he claims to be a member of Mensa, which makes that even funnier. It's like, I'm in Mensa, you should be listening to me. So, because, you know, he's like God's messenger, Raptor style, or something like that.
Has he ever shown his Mensa card at all? Do you know?
What? Oh, like one of those, I'm 18 in the porn video with the name.
I'll make him one. I'll mail
Hi,
it to
everybody.
him.
Here's my Mensa card. Oh man.
Wait, that's my Starbucks
Okay.
card.
Yeah. There. Right.
One more punch. and I
Maybe
get
it's his
latte.
Maybe it's his Nambla card.
Nambla card. Nice.
Oh, no.
Oopsie.
All right. Okay. This brings us to our next one of our next questions, and then we're going to have an activity. It's going to be fun.
Yay!
Yay!
I'll get my crayons.
Okay. No, you don't need a crayon. The question is, and we're gonna keep Peter for last on this one too. So we'll start with you, PW Swivel. The question is, out of desperation, and the only job was available was working in and/or for a church. Would you do it? And
Oh,
why?
sure. I wouldn't have a problem with that. And depending on what I'm doing, I mean, I would do janitor work, I guess. I like things to be clean, and I might do plumbing, something like that. But if you're talking about proselytizing, no, I would rather starve, I think.
Can I just add in? Not an altar boy. I can never be an altar boy. that would not turn out well.
I don't think you meet the age requirements anymore.
You got to be really
Little
young.
older. Aren't
They
you a
know how to
little
keep their
old?
mouths open.
Older
I mean,
boy?
shut.
That's funny. All right. Practical magic. You. Church?
No.
Work?
Nope.
Why?
Because I wouldn't want to do anything that would, and otherwise promote church, make it possible. I don't think that I would be able to do anything that wouldn't, somehow enable them. It's enabling them. I'm not going to be an enabler, unless I wanted to be subversive. So, no.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I'll field this question next, actually, since you just said the magic word. I totally would, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because we could do some dirty work from the inside.
Oh.
and you take their money for it.
Oh,
that's right.
There you go.
That's right.
Give it to all kinds of atheistic.
That's right. One of the cool things I've always thought about doing. Well, first I do this everywhere I go. When I have a hider handy, what I'll do is I'll open the Bible up to Ezekiel 23:20, highlight it, and then leave it open on the table. That's just one thing that I do. In all the hotel, anytime there's a destruction of personal property, which I enjoy. And then, I know it's wrong, but you know what? I don't believe in the Bible. I don't believe in God, so why do I need to be a moral person? Quick, capture that. This atheist said he didn't have to be a moral person. And then also, one of the fun things that I thought would be... One of the things that I thought would be pretty fun is to I'm a bit of an AV geek, and I thought what would be fun is if you could figure out just the right frequency that they're broadcasting on in the middle of their. You see where this is going, right?
Oh yes.
You could put your voice through like a speech synthesizer or something, and tell everyone to kill their neighbor as the voice of God. I just think that would be hilarious.
Hello, everybody. I did that. I used to do that on the CB radio. I would get on the CB radio. I'd go, "This is the Lord thy God. How you doing?"
Just what's your 20?
What's your 20?
For those of you not familiar with CB lingo, that means where are you?
I think
what's
practical.
Your 20, what's your location?
I think Practical brought up a very good point, though, about enabling. I've been recently accused of being very one-sided, stereotypically depicting Christians, not making distinctions about the more harmless mainstream Christians, and I acknowledge that I don't make a lot of distinctions because of the enabling factor. I kind of pointed out today, actually, when I was chatting with somebody, because they were pointing out this wonderful Christian who was so engaging and tolerant, and I said, every conversation I've ever had with somebody that I really liked who was professing their faith, the very end of the conversation always ends the same. I'm going to hell, and I'm going to be tortured, not for a year, not for 100 years, not for 10,000 years, or even a billion years, but eternity over this issue of non-belief, no matter how much good I do. Mm-hmm. At some point, when does that bloodlust, where does compassion fit in? How long could you punish somebody simply for their inability to believe something? How long could you do that? And they have to admit, they have to say, it's a good thing that you'll be tortured because God is doing it, and God only does good things. It doesn't matter then how nice of a Christian you are. It's kind of a reverse thing. It doesn't matter because they still believe you deserve to be tortured. And what kind of pathology is that in any human being that would believe not only just in torture alone, but eternity? And then go to heaven and think it's okay to think of your friends and neighbors being tortured while you're in heaven. They're comfortable with that thought. They accept it because God says it's good. This is, I think, in the end, why you can't make a lot of distinctions. No matter how nice somebody is or how friendly they want to be to an atheist, they still have the opinion that you should be, and it's a good thing that you will be tortured for eternity. And I think that's where you have to kind of, you can't make these distinctions that everybody wants to try and start making. It doesn't work because it's part of their belief.
Well, even those who would say, they might feel bad about somebody going to hell.
Mm-hmm.
They put that off on God, and God being perfect, He's the one doing the judging, not them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still monstrous, but it's just again they just sidestep it. They're pushing it off on something else and not taking.
And you ask them, would you change it then if you could? And they can't rightly say that they believe in the philosophy of God being perfect and then want to change something.
Right.
Only God has regrets. I mean, look at the flood. That was a regret, and which I still don't understand how a being on that level could have a regret.
No.
Right? Does that make any sense?
Exactly. He already knew what was going to happen. So
right. So how do you regret?
How did he not know he was going to have regret later?
I mean, it doesn't make any sense logically to regret something. But I always look at, I don't care how nice of a Christian you are, you still believe, I deserve this.
Yeah.
You believe that not just for 100 years, I mean, more than any other criminal you've ever punished. This is torture, and it's supposed to go on forever. I find that incredible that you could go to heaven and be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
But I've never seen anybody who said, no, I don't believe that'll happen.
I had a fundie come up to me and says, "You're sending yourself to hell." I said, and I was actually debating another fundie at the time, and I said, and they had two opposing viewpoints on this, and he said, "You're sending yourself to hell," and I said, "All right, who makes the rules for the universe? God does, doesn't he?" He goes, and the other fundie who I was debating originally says, "Yes." So who makes the rules of the universe? God does. If he makes the rules of the universe, he basically says who's going to go to hell and who doesn't, right? He goes, "Yes," and the other guy, the fundie I was originally debating, said yes, and the other fundie sitting there with his jaw hanging open, and I said, so who makes the rules? Who goes to hell? God does. So therefore, the only person that's sending me to hell would be your God, not me, because I choose not to go. If I say right now, I choose not to go. Now whose turn is? Who's going to put me there? Is your God going to put me there? Are you telling me I'm still sending myself to hell, even though I say I'm not going? I say I don't want to go there. And then he's just like, he couldn't come up with anything past that.
Well, plus he's already, God knows before you were born what's going to happen to you, so that you can't change that anyway. There's nothing you can do to change what God knows will happen.
Then that would be a dick right there. If he already knew I was going to go to hell before I was born, then what the fuck? Why didn't he just say, okay, well, this kid's not going to go to not going to go to hell. I don't want this kid to go to hell because I knew he was going to go to hell, so I'm not going to put him there. So I'm not going to put him in that situation, so I won't let him be born. So what kind of fucking bullshit is that?
Well,
is he looking for logs for the fire? Or what the fuck?
No, it's because God's against abortion. So sad.
Oh yeah,
for you.
It was actually an abortionist. I was anti-abortionist. I was actually an anti-abortionist. I was actually arguing with. And I was like, he was. Oh, the guy gives me headaches just thinking about it. Packard Pokes at 9 o'clock Eastern. There was a lull.
That's right.
Hey, every time if somebody else doesn't start talking, I'm going to start saying that. So.
That's right. So it's activity time. All right. So some of you have probably seen this. No. I'm going to accept full responsibility for what happens from here on out. Now, this is something that's completely and totally new. It's actually something that I thought of, and I don't know if this exists in nature or not.
I'm not shocking anybody.
Oh, okay. Put your hand here. How much God can you take? I don't know. All right. So what we're gonna do here is, you guys heard of Mad Libs, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Okay. We're gonna do something a little fun here. So, in this order that you see it, does everybody have the same order that I have, where it's me, PW, Packard, Peter, and then Practical Magic?
Yeah, that's what I've got.
Mm-hmm.
All right. By the way, for those of you that just joined us, did you notice that like everybody's got like a P down at the bottom?
It's the P show.
I thought that was hilarious. Primate, PW, Packard, Peter, and Practical Magic. It's like it's alliterative nonsense.
P.
All right. So, if that's it goes, okay. I want to. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go across. You know who you are, so it's gonna go. PW, Packard, and then Essence of Thought, and then Practical Magic. So when I ask you for something, you have to give me it, right?
Okay.
So the first thing I'm looking for, and give me a second to write here. So the first thing I'm looking for is a noun. We'll start with you, PW. A noun.
Any
noun.
Any noun.
Yep.
I'm
sorry, I've lost.
Your trick questions.
Can I? I'm not following this very clearly, I guess.
Okay.
Can you give me?
Hold on. All right. Okay. Do you know what a Mad Lib is?
No.
Okay. All right. That will make it even funnier.
No good. Can we start on the other end and work our way back? Because I'm not following what you're actually doing.
Okay. I tell you what. Let's do me a favor. We'll change the first one. Just give me a person.
A person. Abraham Lincoln.
Okay. There we go. All right. Packard.
Are you asking me?
Packard.
Yes. Are you
give me a noun.
Oh, give you a noun?
A noun.
Bus.
Okay. Peter, a noun.
Chair.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. Practical Magic. I need an adjective.
Oh,
You get the hard one.
yeah, I know. Descriptive. Okay, handsome.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
Okay.
All right, PW, with us? Can you give me an adjective?
Funny. Does that count?
Okay, that's funny. Sure, why not? Okay. Okay.
Who?
Packard.
Cutting out.
A noun.
Me?
A noun, please.
A noun?
Yes, I need a noun.
Microphone.
Yeah.
Microphone.
Okay. Speaking of which, am I coming through okay? Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah, you're coming through okay.
You cut out a couple times.
Let's see. Okay. Well, give me another noun. I won't talk so loud.
Who?
Peter.
Me or me?
No, Peter.
Oh, right.
I need a noun.
Mug.
Mug?
Yes, mug.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. Practical Magic. Another noun, please.
Oh, lamp.
Okay. Wow. You guys are just looking around. You're not.
I know. I'm just.
Do you need any verbs with this?
Hold on. I have a point. Okay, it's gonna be funny. Hopefully, no. It's gonna be tragically sad. Okay. PW. Another noun.
Candle.
Okay. Okay. Well. And let's see. I need a. An action word. Packard.
A verb.
A verb.
Action word? An
Yeah.
action word?
Thank you.
Yes.
A verb.
Action word.
And you majored
In
in
the
what?
past tense.
Oh, you want it in past tense? You want it in past tense? Fucked.
Yes. Locked? Oh, okay.
Hey, it's an all-purpose word. You can use it for everything.
Okay. So here's what we've done. Am I coming through okay? Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. What I've done is basically I've taken the first book of the Bible and turned it into an ad lib.
Oh, God.
Okay.
So here's the okay. Let's see. In the beginning, Abe Lincoln created the bus and the chair. Now the chair was handsome and funny, and a microphone was over the mug of the lamp. The spirit of candle was fucked over the mug. Biblical Mad Libs, ladies and gentlemen, invented here by the talking primate for your amusement.
Trying to kill me, aren't you?
Oh yeah, yeah. So that's Genesis 1 through 3, I think,
Makes
as a Mad Lib.
sense is the real scripture.
That's right.
Funnier
Right,
than the
because
first-
in the beginning, Abraham Lincoln created the bus and the chair. There we go. All right. Okay. I hadn't actually prepared too much beyond that because I figured that would be a train wreck that would derail the entire show. So figured I'd save the crap for last. And it is a beautiful Sunday. I don't know. So I don't know where to really go from here. I didn't really have anything else
Questions
planned.
from
Is
the
there anything-
audience?
Yeah.
Packard
Do I have
Pokes
any
At
questions
9 p.m.
from the audience? Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Let's see. Give me a nun. Oh boy. Let's see. Do we have? Oh, is the idea of torture amorally sound? That would be a question to ask a fundamentalist. That is just way too deep for my show. I'm sorry.
I can't even see
For
the
that,
chat.
please
window.
direct yourself to a better show.
Yeah, that's like a whole show on its own that I don't want to be a part of. No, I just don't really want to be a part of that. Although that was posed by Killer of the Sun. We have great comments here. I don't know if anybody's paid attention. I just started paying
I can't even
attention to
see
them.
them right now.
No, I don't see them at all. I don't know how to add that, but
No, I don't have them either.
yeah.
No. Hope Fulfillment had asked, is there a Bible with all the juicy parts outlined from the start?
So,
That'd be the Song of Solomon.
That's right.
so all the words of Jesus
That's a
are in
good-
red, but all of the other stuff is in what color would you use to highlight that?
I don't know. Red seems like a bit of
Because it's
a warning.
fabulous.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
Oh.
Are any of you wearing pants? Hey, Bob! I'm seeing it now. Hi, Bob.
I was told there would be pants here. So.
Bob, get in touch with me. Get in touch with me, Bob.
Right. Siddhartha Finch is a Hawks fan. There's that.
Yay.
You send yourself to hell.
Tommy Simonson says, is religion good for children?
You go from the top or the bottom here. What the hell?
I would say no. I would say religion shouldn't be something that anybody subjects their children to till at least the age of 12 or 13. You know, once you start to enter into that age of reason, I don't, you know, it's a personal choice, but I don't like to see little kids being indoctrinated myself. But
Well, I wasn't a very big fan. You know what I do now? I scream at the Jehovah's Witnesses as they pass my house.
when you're in your robe
They don't
with
come
your
to my
coffee
house
cup.
anymore. Jehovah's Witnesses don't know better than to come to my house anymore because they know I'll challenge them and they go end up walking away.
Yeah. Well, I always say the same thing to, like, when they run past the house and there's children under the age of 18. I always say the same. I always scream the same thing, which is, "Hey kid, once you turn 18, you don't have to believe this shit anymore." It's like, I don't.
Novel concept.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean they're on public streets.
Yeah. No, I'm saying novel concept. The
So.
idea that, oh yeah, you're 18 now, you don't have to believe that.
I was a non-believer before I was 18.
Sweet. Oh, non-hair edition.
But,
Oh, I like your
wait, let me see
Dr.
if I
Who
can.
mug too. Yes,
My
he
doc,
does.
what mug?
Your no, don't panic. Isn't that? No.
Don't tell me to keep calm. It's a play on.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I thought no, it's not Doctor Who. My son Alex, we've been watching Doctor Who.
Oh, I love Doctor Who. Have you seen? How are you just watching the newest ones, or have you seen the
I
old?
just finished
older
the newest
ones?
ones, and now I'm going to go back and watch all the original series. So
I'm starting out with the first episode. I'm starting with the first Doctor,
yes.
and they redo some. There's a couple of the shows that they've done. Actually, redo some of the movies, but a little bit shorter and not quite as detailed. But they're really good.
Oh, good. I'm excited.
But the problem is with some of them, because they've lost the original footage. They just either put up a still picture and then they just put a description of what's going on. But there was one episode. What they did was, I don't know if they didn't have any pictures whatsoever, but they did everything in like a cartoonish version, which I thought they should have done all of them like that. But I guess somebody got overridden, and they should have done. I think they should have done all the older ones. I'm still halfway through the first one, so I haven't seen all of the first and the second and the third. So, oh wait, the third was no, I have seen all the third. The third one was John Pertwee.
Okay.
John Pertwee. Oh, John Pertwee, he's funny as hell. Tom Baker's the best, of course. Tom Baker rules them all.
Now, Tom Baker, is he the one with not the pork pie, with the hat, or is he the one with the scarf? That's how
Scarf.
Scarf.
Well, he wore a hat and a scarf sometimes. Yeah. Usually it was the scarf and the long coat, and he had. There's one scene where he's like tells him to empty out his pockets. He goes, I don't remember where he was. He tells him to empty out the pockets, and he's like dumping out all the shit. He's standing there for 20 minutes pulling shit out of his pockets. So hilarious.
How do all of my podcast or my hangouts always end up in Doctor Who territory? It's like the first one I ever did.
It's a timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly thing.
Hey, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
That's right.
I suppose. I mean, after Tom Baker left, I actually stopped watching the show. So I mean, I haven't watched it in years.
Peter Davidson was I didn't like Peter Davidson. He and Colin Baker. Oh fuck! You might as well just. They gave Colin Baker bad scripts to begin with, and they just made him look like an evil fuck. And Peter Davidson looked like a wuss. So you'll see it for yourself. I'm just saying.
I doubt it.
Just saying.
Uh-oh.
The last guy before. The last guy before they ended the series for a while. He had he wore the hat and he always carried the parachute, the umbrella. he actually brought something back to the show before they canceled it. So. Mm-hmm. I forget his real name now, unfortunately. Packard Pokes at 9 p.m. Central.
I was going to say. I don't even have to say awkward silence.
We need the cricket sound for that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know how you segue from this. I
apologize for derailing.
Bob, what was your serious question? Wait a minute. Bob said he had a serious question. What was it, Bob? I did not see it.
Bob Smearfack?
Yeah, Bob Smearfack. He has to wear his spirit pants. Well, I'm sort of wearing pants. Well, they are pants, actually. Just.
Bob Smearfack says, "What's up?"
What's up?
And if he hasn't figured that out yet, I can't help him.
Hi, Bob.
I love Bob. I love your videos, Bob. Love your videos.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a push here for Bob Smearfact to continue his Genesis deconstruction.
Oh, absolutely. I hope he still continues those. Those are great videos.
Yes. More smear fact.
Yes.
That's right.
Definitely.
Did I accidentally hit the cameraman thing? Because this thing's not changing now. Only when I click it.
Oh, if you
And I
click
didn't want
on,
to play
if you
producer
click on your
for
bottom, if you click on the bottom video, if you click on it again, it'll change. If you click off
click
of
on
it,
my
like
video?
last week, yeah, on the bottom, if you got on your bottom row there, if you click on it, if you got a blue box around it, that means it's locked on that camera.
Okay, now it's off.
There you go.
I'm excited. I'm still
See?
a total noob at this thing. Anyway. So.
I've only been doing this for 2
let's
years.
see, what else? One other question. Yeah. That's why you're the host and I am not. One of the questions that I asked the first time.
I am in the center of the center square. I feel like I'm on Hollywood Squares. Packard for the block.
Right. That's right.
Okay.
Hey, how about this Catholic Hollywood Squares, where it's basically crosses and communion wafers.
No communal wine?
No, it's like wafer gets the wafer to block.
Oh, okay. I see. Oh, I see where you're going with that. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
You got me
Instead of X's
excited
and
there.
O's,
Think about wine.
crosses. Yeah. Hey, has anybody else ever wanted to do this, like during a church service? Like this.
What?
That wasn't in my repertoire. No, sorry.
Yeah.
You know what you do?
Should we do it again?
I've done this.
There's a temptation to start writhing and frothing at the mouth, starting talking in tongues and then start talking about Cthulhu and how he is coming.
Cthulhu's coming! Cthulhu's coming! Save your children! Save yourself!
Hey, speaking about religious nonsense, here, I'll pose this question, and we'll go across the board. We'll start with practical magic and then move to the left. If, and this is only an if, you were forced at gunpoint to accept some kind of religion, what would it be? And remember, it's at gunpoint.
Oh, okay.
I take Thor.
I pick Norse religions as well.
Paganism. Wicca.
I'll take Thor. He's carried as a hammer. There's a man that can get shit done.
Christ said he'd eradicate sin. Thor said he'd eradicate the ice giants. I don't see many ice giants around these days.
Probably Buddhism, actually.
Great point. Yeah. Hey, you almost have to think that Buddhism is more of a philosophy.
Yeah.
Wait, let me do it in my best.
Depends what definition.
My best William Lane Craig. Right? All right. Buddhism is more of a philosophy than Christianity because.
Wait, isn't that Bill O'Reilly? Didn't Bill O'Reilly say that too?
No.
Yeah, he did.
If you go by the substantive definition, then yes, it is more of a philosophy.
Yeah.
But if you go by the functional definition, then it's more of a religion.
Yeah.
Sociology.
There we go.
Paul Lind? Oh, I'm Paul Lind. Ah, Paul Lind. I just saw that in the chair, so I'm calling Paul Lind. I liked Paul Lind. I thought he was actually pretty funny.
Yeah. I used to do a killer Paul Lind impersonation. So, like, Peter would be like, he'd be Peter Marshall, was it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Peter Marshall would be like he'd. I think there was actually a famous one where Peter Marshall says something along the lines of, we'd be like, now Paul, what is the never mind, fuck it. It was pretty funny though.
Well, Paul.
He used to have that laugh that was like he would be like Glenda Lovelace.
No, Bob wants to know if everybody's wearing pants. He says we all have to answer individually. I'm wearing pants. Yes, I'm wearing pants.
Yes, I'm wearing pants.
I think I'm wearing pants. But I could be
you're wearing
wrong.
Oh, the existential. Yes, sir.
Yes, I am wearing pants.
Right. My pants are different than your pants.
But that's okay.
That's right. The,
I'm okay.
yes,
You're
the
okay.
Emperor's new pants.
He's wearing the Emperor's new pants. I have a pair like that in my closet, actually.
I don't have to prove
Never
that
have
I'm
to
wearing
wash 'em.
pants. I don't have to prove this. You have to prove I'm not wearing pants. I really. That's how it works. I don't think you guys understand this. I don't have to prove a thing.
I don't think we want to know the answer.
Okay, you just prove I'm not wearing pants, and then we'll talk. Show me the evidence.
That's right.
Show me evidence that you're not wearing pants.
Exactly. Prove a negative.
Okay.
Christopher Hitchens would say, extraordinary pants require extraordinary fabric.
No, exactly. No, I don't. It's a word game. It's semantics. There's no way to determine one way or another whether I'm actually wearing pants. It's all digital.
I'm wearing digital
Don't you think?
pants.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I could be. It's a smoke screen. It's Wizard of Oz. You know.
Don't touch the man behind the golden pants.
Sure.
The Northern Dog Stars asks the question, do dogs wear pants?
In my house, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I think mine does too, and it's a girl on top of it, so
Mhm.
I'm doubly fucked.
Yeah.
No dog. I don't have a dog. I don't believe in dog.
You don't believe in dog?
I don't believe in dog.
I don't believe in dog.
More of a cat person myself.
I do have a
Yeah.
question here.
I could have pegged you for a cat person, Peter. Easy.
How?
I do have a question.
I should go get my kitten. Go ahead.
Okay. I was recently on a Bible Thumper Wingnut show.
I've heard about
explaining-
him. Holy crap.
I was explaining myself, and it was actually kind of an odd show. But one of the things that they wanted to do was basically grill me on morality, and they started out with, "What's your worldview?" Which totally fried my brain. I've never heard it. To me, that'd be like saying, "What's your favorite?" You know, I didn't have a stock answer for that like they do. I don't have a simplistic answer. To me, it depends on the subject. You know, what's your worldview on war or resources or global warming or whatever? I don't have a worldview that's so simplistic that I could just say, yeah, Darwin said it all for me or whatever. Would you have handled that different? I mean, do you guys have a worldview that you just say, yeah, here's my worldview?
No, I think because they're all individuals, you know, we've all got fragmenting personalities, might be one area, etc. Like, you know, under my, you know, the video titles I put up, you know, I put atheist, secularist, humanist, because, you know, that's three of my identities. That's three of the main ones that I portray in my channel. But then behind that, there's also LGBT, you know, there's just a load of things behind that as well. But, you know, I don't have time to fit it all on to, you know, a screen, etc. So you just have to ask them, well, worldview on what specific case? What is it that you want me to, you know, give you my worldview?
Well, I tried that.
for?
I tried that. They found it extremely frustrating. They did all this kind of, oh my, you know, all this body language that I was being obtuse. And a lot of their viewers also found me to be quite dense in answering these questions. Because when I told him, I really don't understand what you're asking me, he said, okay, do you believe in absolute morality? I thought, okay, I don't want to spend an hour and a half on this. So I said, yeah, sure. Try to hurt one of my kids, I will absolutely show you what I think, and it'll be consistent.
There you go.
It's very absolute for me, but I said, no, I'm not, because where they went from there was they started saying, well, your video on obvious morality says all this. And they went into it for quite a while, and I said, well, but that wasn't me. That was a guy named Darren Kern, who I allow space on my channel. I do the videos, the graphics for him, but I put in the disclaimer, this is not me, and I put it in the description.
Yeah.
And I was trying to tell him, I said, these description boxes are very important to me. There's information there, because the idea of this whole hangout was to tell me that I shouldn't be blaming all Christians for the faith-healing deaths of these two children. And I said I wasn't. I wasn't doing it at all. I was saying harmful religious dogma that leads to atrocities are something we should fight against. I said, unless you're supporting that, this really wasn't meant for you. So it really kind of killed the entire show. But, you know, the worldview thing kind of got me. I kind of just shook my head and said, I really don't know where to go with that. You know, but the general opinion was that I was really kind of stupid. And it was kind of unfortunate, because I do have opinions, but I don't have like a religious worldview, which I think was kind of inappropriate to ask somebody who's known as an atheist anyway.
Well, I think religion in general tends to want to compartmentalize things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they want it to be very very black and white. And I have to be careful when I say that. I'm actually on Facebook. I've been invited to a private group that they discuss religion, and I've come there as an atheist. They saw one of my videos, and the person who contacted me said, "Hey, we're discussing your video, and I don't feel like I can really answer for you." So I came there, and the really strange thing is, I was mostly a fundamentalist, you know, just straight line fundamentalist most of my life as a Christian, and I find that there's so many different flavors of Christianity there, but still, for the most part, they want to see the world in a very black and white way. I know I think I'm a humanist, and that's more reflecting on how my view of the world and people has evolved over the last 7 years. And I say, I think I identify mostly, you know, with humanism, but I don't think I have to pigeonhole myself anymore. I think it is just a matter of you look at life as it comes. You say, okay, how do I deal with this? How do I deal with that? Pretty much, if you just you don't want to harm other people, and you don't want to harm yourself, and you're trying your best. Those are my guiding principles. But yeah, I don't know. It's different. It's really different to talk with Christians on this side of it. It's been frustrating.
No, I agree.
I also love the way that, you know, you hosted someone else in your channel. Like, well, it's on your channel, therefore it, you know, must share the same view. Because of course, you're only going to help people who share the same view as you. You can never have someone on your channel share the same view.
Yeah.
It's just yeah.
Well, the deal I have with Darren is I don't edit his content. I'll clean up his video, but I won't change what he's saying. I will have no. I don't take any control over that. I think I'm not. I don't want that kind of control. So he can say what he wants. I'll do the video. I'll do the dog, the graphics for it. But that's it. And I kind of let it just go with what it is. And if people want to associate that with me, I don't really worry about that. But if they really want to debate me on it, I tell them no. It's not appropriate for me to speak for somebody else's viewpoint to that level. Yeah. But this was all happening at the same time that within this group, there were people accusing each other of being, first of being possessed by demons. These are fellow Christians, possessed by demons, and then actually being a demon. And one of the people that was on the show that I was in was being outed as an alcoholic by other Christians.
Nice.
And,
that's nice.
Oh my gosh.
Wait a minute,
seriously, and this is all happening.
They're not supposed to.
I mean,
isn't that one of their commandments not to go around, you know, and gossip and shit? If I'm not mistaken.
Do not judge others, and unless you would also be judged. A lot of times I encountered that when I was a Christian, that it was okay as long as you don't mind being judged by the same manner with which you judge others. It's an excuse for gossip, but that was the reasoning. I use that very loosely.
Well, they were also accusing one of them of being a closet homosexual, and they've done videos on this in the last week or two. So a lot of them have been pulled now, but they were doing videos like that. And so some of the people that were being attacked, one of the guys actually made a poster putting the other guys' faces on it. It was a poster for a porno. And so this is where it got. And what fascinated me.
That's generally that counts as slander, nowadays.
Oh, yeah,
if someone is not gay and they're told, and then someone comes out and says
live.
Gay,
well,
that's slander.
These players. It's Raven Wolf and Raw and all of these guys, and they've been attacking each other like crazy. And it's been like, wow. I mean, I've met some really tough atheists who challenged my position, but I've never been called a demon or outed as an alcoholic.
You're a monster.
I'm a monster. I'll cop to that.
I have a pair of horns around here somewhere. I can find them here in the next couple minutes.
Those headphones are an extension of your sin. Right there.
Actually, there's a video of me I did last year, and I am wearing horns. I let them poke out. I trimmed them down. There's his the S's of Thoughts horns. He's wearing his now.
Oh, that's good.
And a monocle.
Oh,
He's waiting for the evil laugh now.
Evil, like the fruits of the devil.
Whoa. Yes.
I always say when people tell me that there's shit is people are infected by demons or the demons caused infection, I said, give me the proof, give me the evidence, and that's when they stop talking because they know that's a testable claim and they can't back it up.
Well, yeah, I just found it ironic that while this is all going on, I was kind of targeted by a lot of the subs for the channel that I appeared on as a really evil, bad person. I'm kind of looking around me at their group who are, devouring themselves over nothing. I thought, it's just kind of fascinating because I tend to take kind of a moderate approach to these confrontational issues, I wouldn't survive a day in that group. I wouldn't. I'd be so frustrated with the accusations of being a demon and all that, which has been retracted as of today. I understand by one person, but not another. Another one said, no, absolutely, he's a demon, and I'm not changing my mind on that. So it's like watching a soap opera that never seems to end. I don't know where it's going on that, but I thought it was interesting.
That's the point.
Yeah, that's the price that comes with any group identity is these inevitable splits and power struggles and the redefining of what things mean. And I find it all tedious. And that was kind of the point of the video of why we fight. I find that stuff so tedious because it's a waste. And I don't want to waste my time with people who simply want to try to annoy me. I really have an agenda that's different than that, and I do want to deal with the real harm that gets done and propose alternatives to that kind of ideology.
Yeah. We've got a great comment from Zero Gods. He says, Christians use the term worldview to argue that atheism is a religion. Like every other Christian argument, it is complete bullshit.
Yep. I agree with that.
That's right.
Yeah. Here's my worldview. Here's my worldview. My view of the world. What is your view of the world? It's round.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
it's not flat. It is comprised of a lot of carbon and a lot of hydrogen, and there's stuff on it, and I like to keep my stuff on it. So let's keep it nice. That's my worldview.
My worldview is that the world is round, and wherever the road leads, unless the road stops, and I can drive onto it until that point,
And you're a truck driver, so yeah, that would be good for you. The fact that the world's round, you could go on forever.
Yes.
If they ever built that damn land bridge. Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, I got a question. Has anybody done something like this? They go to a hotel room or find a Bible. I've heard some people do this. They go to a hotel room, they find a Bible, they take the Bible and you hide it somewhere else in the room, like under the mattress or under the bed somewhere, or done something similar to this. What's that?
Like the Princess and the Pea? See if you can fall asleep with a Bible under your mattress?
Yeah. No, I mean,
And we're
because
back
the
at
Gideons that
B.
come in, they put Bibles in the rooms or whatever, and I'm saying hide the Bible, and you see if you can see if anybody's hiding Bibles. My daughter and I, we go. I have to take her to the. She's still under 18, so she goes to the children's hospital out here, and in the examination rooms we've been in, they have the Bible for the children. So while after the nurse leaves, I I take that book there and I put it somewhere in the room where no one else can find it, and I hide it. I've done it with a couple of different ones. I won't say where I put them, but then what they did was they replaced it. They replaced it. No, I didn't take it with me. They replaced it, and then I hid it on top of the other one that they left in there, so they don't put it in there in that room anymore.
War, genocide, and incest, now with pretty pictures.
Right.
That's right. They always leave out the good bits for the kids.
That's
kind of like a
that's
All the
like
sex and violence.
That's like that
Yeah,
one
they
Veggie
leave all
Tales.
the
They
sex
had the
and
Veggie
violence.
Tales about David, and it was the rubber ducky. David and the rubber ducky, and I was like, wait, what story is this? I was watching this with my kids. This is back when I was still a believer, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to tell David and Bathsheba. That's what the story was. I thought, how are they going to? No, that was really an awkward moment. Anyway.
Of course, the classical one. The classical
daughter's
one, of
saying-
course, is Noah's Ark. Because, so all the pretty animals that are, like, happy, etc. Seeing all their friends die.
I was just talking about this one. I was speaking about this one. Just a friend of mine just a few hours ago. Now, get this. I completely forgot about this until just this morning. After God had supposedly told Noah to put all these animals on the ark, right? To save all the animals. All right, keep that in mind. Save all the animals, right? Then he gets after the right. He took 2 of everything, right? Supposedly.
So much useless DNA.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, he gets off the ark, and then he makes a burnt offering to God. Okay, so basically, he's one of the animals he's saved. He decides to kill. So now you don't have 2 of everything. You only have 1 of that thing.
What do you think happened to the unicorn?
I said the same thing. He killed the unicorn. That's why you don't have the
Oh, that
unicorn.
explains so much.
No, wait. I got it. I got the creationist answer for that. They were on the ark for, what, 40 days and 40 nights, was it?
Half a year. Yeah, half a year.
Oh, half a year? Okay,
Half a
so
year, 6
maybe
months,
the animal, whatever the gestational period of the animal was that they sacrificed, the 2 that they brought could have had offspring. And then he sacrificed
but it doesn't say that.
the little one.
But it does not say that. They said they all kind of got off.
That doesn't make any difference to a creationist.
They don't care what the Bible says.
Oh,
We
wait.
don't care what the Bible says. We'll just make shit up and insert it in there. Just
Wait.
shove it in there. We'll put it in. We'll put it
As
in
long
the
as it
footnote.
supports our guns, we're fine.
But the most important part of that sacrifice, if you read it, is the aroma.
Yes, it's the
God
aroma.
loves
God
the
loves
aroma. Now, you think about a barbecue, how that smells when your neighbor does that. Yeah, so I get it. That rings true.
It
The
reminds me
aroma-
of Terry Pratchett.
The aroma of burnt offerings just does wonders for my soul, too. And I start making promises to people, too.
In Terry Pratchett.
I'll make a rainbow for you. You cook barbecue for me. I'll make a rainbow for you any day.
That's why America's the number 1 country.
I gotta.
it reminds you of,
my door. I'll be right back.
Okay. Reminds me of Terry Pratchett going postal. There's a scene where, the guy, he's a con artist, right? And he's going to make it look like he's got a load of money, so he's putting an offering out for Ophir, it's based off the Egyptian god, etc. And it's sausages, like the best sausages that you can find. And he cooks them. He's like, so what happens after sausages after they're cooked? And the monk goes, oh, well, we eat them, of course. And he goes, but the offerings for the god. He's like, oh, yes, Ophir takes the scent of the sausages, the essence of the sausages, if you will.
Yeah.
We merely eat the earthly
That's where aromatherapy comes from. It's biblical. Yeah. No, you look at this story, and it's interesting that it's one of the most discuss children's
I'm back.
stories of the Bible, but you never look at the very next section of that Bible where Noah gets drunk and naked. And because his son actually saw him, he condemned a third of his descendants to not just slavery, but the lowest form of slavery. Yeah, they had to change color. And I find that just incredible that you could.
It's a whole new expression. It gives a whole new meaning to once you go black. You never go back.
Yeah. You never go back to Egypt. Yeah, Middle East.
Damn.
No, but it's fascinating that the three parts of that whole story. The very beginning where God regrets. You would think somebody at some point would say, "Can he regret?" And they just don't go there with that whole point and the whole genocide issue. And that turns into a happy story for kids with all these animals coming on that ark, and then it turns into this drunken grandpa who's mad that somebody saw him naked and decides to punish people without God's consent or anything. God is pretty much absent once he has this regretful moment. And of course, he gives a rainbow and then goes away. And then it's Noah who's deciding the fate of mankind based on his drunken nakedness. And I thought, how can this be something you would have? Because I've seen the pictures for children. You don't want to even give them a hint that this is a good thing to go look and read about, would you? I mean, that would seem.
I wouldn't want.
Stay away from that story, because then also comes up the questions about all the animals that died. What about their rotting carcasses? Because not all carcasses would degrade that quickly.
Magic.
Some of the larger ones would
Magic.
Right.
Magic.
Yeah, what did the carnivores eat after they got off? Did they eat the plant eaters? What did the plant eaters eat? Because all the plants are dead.
That solves the rotting meat problem.
Magic.
Magic.
I have no answer. The answer is magic. The answer is magic.
Supernatural.
Hey, there's a really good.
You can't question God.
No, you don't.
How many
Please,
people come across?
'cause he'll interrupt my transmission.
I'm sorry, I gotta ask that question. How many people have to deal with that question? You can't question God. Can I ask that one?
You can ask whatever you want. It's an open forum.
Okay.
What do you say to somebody who says you can't question God?
Yeah. What do you say? I mean, I know what I say.
I agree.
I want to know what does everybody else say to it?
I can't question the invisible man.
I would say,
I've never fielded
That's right.
that yet, but
Of course, how can I question him? He never shows himself.
I'm not angry at him either. It's like
I don't have his fucking cell phone number. Is he on Twitter?
He's not in the yellow pages,
Never drafted a letter. All right. Let me put it this way. All right. Instead of question, let's say test God. They say you can't test God.
Oh. What, like with a ACT?
I guess,
God needs his driver's license.
Humanities?
Well, I don't know. It seems like Elijah or Elijah did the whole thing where he poured water on the stack of wood. All that. That was a test.
Yes, it was.
So.
And yep. After I've had that, after I got, and the thing was, I was having this conversation with a fundy. We actually had that conversation about the Elijah there putting out the wood, the water on the wood, and having the God come down and lick up the flames. And he said, then he's 20 minutes later, he says, well, you can't test God. I said, we just talked about that. He did test his God. So you don't sit there and tell me that you can't test God? Yeah, he tells me, test the barbecue, right.
Little did they know that Elisha was the first Republican who loved oil.
Awesome.
There was some guy in the back going, hope no one sees me. That wasn't water, it was gasoline.
I gotta say. No one will know.
No one will know, it's just gasoline.
Hey,
Proving that they were white.
You'll figure it out later. You'll figure out the secret formula later.
I just want to let everybody know that we have a pretty good question actually from our studio audience here. Hope Fulfillment. He says, I am thinking that causing the most deconversions and movement away from organized religion in the United States is all those fundamentalists and the inhumane things that they spew. What is your take on that? Amen, bro.
You
So,
broke
can you
up.
repeat the question?
nailed it.
I'm sorry, I lost that.
I didn't hear it either.
Okay. So, Hope Fulfillment says, I am thinking that what is causing the most deconversions and movement away from organized religion in the United States is all those fundamentalists and the inhumane things that they spew. What's your take on that?
Well, should I go with that one, or do you want me to go with that one?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, why don't
Because
Yeah,
in sociology, we have something called, we're looking at a new phenomenon. It's called spiritual shopping. It's because, before you had a very select few religions that were seen as culturally acceptable. In the Western areas, it was Christianity. You had many different types of Christianity, but there were still ones that were seen acceptable and not others that, weren't so much. But now, in a globalized world, we've got communication, we've got methods of finding out about different things, and it's also a highly consumerist world where, we can go around and we can have a look at all these spiritual beliefs and we can look, oh, that one offers me this, but that one offers me that. Oh, that's very nice. So, it could possibly be the fact that whilst, people with lack of belief is also growing, those that are in belief, more of them are leaving the radicalized, very structured religions and heading towards these more New Age movements because they actually have the option to do that now. They no longer have to be that guy who just turns up to church once every week. They can just join whatever sect or cult they want, and that's that. They buy a couple of stones and they're happy. They feel like they're fulfilling something.
I would agree. I think that it's this combination of factors. We have a more mobile society. People don't stay within their hometown that they were growing up in. We have the internet with dissemination of information. We do have the idiots who, like Pat Robertson, who make it more and more ugly to the more people. I had another thought and I totally lost it.
You were thinking getting Packard Pokes at 9 p.m.
That's what it was.
Actually, I was going to say the same thing. I was going to say the same thing. It's the internet, and it's the fact that we have facts at our fingertips.
Yeah.
On our cell phones, we can. If you say, "Hey, God said this," oh, really? Let me look it up. Actually, He didn't. And your belief is crap. And you can look up a fact at any point in time, anywhere nowadays. And if you and plus you said, of course, Robertson and them, they're making themselves look like fucking idiots, and they are, and they're just showing how ugly the religion really is by being misogynistic and bigoted. And we're hopefully moving away from being bigoted, except for in the South, it just says bigot right around there. But no haters from the South. Just kidding.
It's not
except for Austin, Texas, there's actually a little shield bubble. God can't get through that one apparently because there's a bunch of liberals living in there. Right. He carries the shield everywhere he goes. He's got a little generator. He's got the anti-God shield going around there. So I saw the plans for the scope. I'm going to build one next week actually.
It sounds like Dana could do that for the Jehovah's Witnesses. Just bubble his house.
With the bullhorn.
I know what it was.
Your
Peter
faith is
said,
stupid. Your faith is stupid. Don't believe the hype.
Peter was saying something about kind of a pick and choose, like a smorgasbord of religion, and that's what I'm encountering in the Facebook community that I've been talking in. It's like I find that I have to ask and say, well, what is it you believe? What is it? What's your stance on the Bible? And then we can have a discussion because we're talking apples and oranges. But it is. It's not the way religion. It doesn't look like religion used to look to me. So I'm hopeful.
If you go back to the Roman ages, back then, of course, you had lots of preachers that would be on the street. They'd all be preaching their own thing. Then with the Abrahamic religions, Islam and, Christianity, etc., they came along, and that kind of halted for a while. Yeah, you'd have people preaching on the streets, but they were the people that, hurting themselves, to try and get rid of their sins, etc. But now, of course, as we've gone away from that, it's a canopy or something. I've forgotten what it was called. But it's a monopoly. They're monopolizing. It's monopolizing the faith almost. But now we're starting to move away from that. So things are going back to the way like of the Romans, where you're getting more and more street preachers, people going out on the streets, telling you, oh, you should listen to this book. This is the word of God. And you've got people going out with ridiculous signs, etc., just yelling at random people. So it does seem to be that's the cause.
Well, I think a lot of these fundamentalists who go on and kind of embarrass everybody are doing a tremendous amount of harm to the church. I mean, it makes people who want to attend church for their own personal reasons kind of see themselves as separate from that group. So they're starting to kind of see the factions growing more and more because we have a lot more media that will exploit that, and they're not afraid to take a look at it anymore and have people like the Amazing Atheists on CNN, things like that. They're not scared to do that anymore. So that's, I think, changing a great deal. I think also the number of non-believers, people who say they don't have a religion or anything, has grown past critical mass. I think once you get to that point, it's really just a matter of time before society kind of evens it out. If you look back 50 years ago, you had Christians taking a strong stance against interracial marriage in America.
Oh, there's still that, unfortunately.
Yeah, but at that time, 70% of the population was against interracial marriage when the feds stepped in and said, I'm sorry, you can't, you got to allow this. 50 years from now, even today, most churches would not take a position like that publicly. And 50 years from now, I don't think most churches will take a position against gay marriage publicly. I think they have a flexible morality, and they know what's going to kill off their religion completely, and they had to change their.
Yeah, well, Christianity is lucky though.
There was a
only
church
10% of the.
There was a church out in South Carolina that said that they're not going to marry anybody until like gay people are allowed to get married as well. You know what? And that's the first time I said, that would be one church I wouldn't give the finger to. And every church I drive by, it says I have to do a lot of driving. I give them everyone. I go by this and do this to them. Every one of them.
But yeah, it's kind of lucky for Christianity that only 10% of their believers have actually read the Bible. 90% of them haven't. So they're kind of lucky that the churches can say whatever they like, pretend that it's in the gospel, pick a few texts here and there that kind of support that view, and ignore all the rest. So.
Yeah.
Well, my feeling is that down the road they will reinterpret the Greek words that Paul used and say he didn't mean gay activity, he meant something else, effeminate behavior during a battle or something. They'll come up with something to realign themselves with people. They will. I mean, they have to, because think about the people now who are taking a strong stand. Their grandchildren will all have friends who are gay.
The generation effect.
They will, and there's no way that their grandchildren are going to go to church that says all your friends are bad people going to burn it. It's not going to happen. The same happened with civil rights. I saw many preachers standing up at the pulpit trying to fight civil rights and integration and interracial marriage. They have given up those battles, and they have now pretended they were never part of them. But their morality is so much more flexible than mine over the ages, and they will capitulate to this as well. It's the only way they can survive. So I see it as a natural part of what happens, but I think these fundamentalists who let their children die over faith healing speed up the process to some degree.
That just sticks in your craw, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can't let that one go. Yeah. Kids, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we wouldn't still have this religion if it weren't for you darn kids.
Good point.
And our hateful beliefs.
Yeah.
Oh, I still
Yeah.
start over Andrea Yates myself. I think that everything went easy on her because she was a Christian.
Hmm.
So yeah. Anyway.
Don't forget that X. Don't forget those two pair of X chromosomes. I think that had a little bit to do with it. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Well.
Packard Pokes at 9 p.m. Central Time. Sorry, lol.
Well,
OneLife.tv
this is about-
/Packard Pokes at.
that's nice. I'll go ahead and. Okay, this is about the time.
Oh.
Okay, daughter alert.
Goodbye.
Hi, daughter. Wait a
This
minute,
is,
my daughter
this-
just came home.
Yeah.
I don't have
This
a
is
tool.
about the time. I usually allow about 2 hours for this, which basically means that when my family starts coming in and interrupting, that's usually a
He's
good
getting
chance.
rid of us, people.
It's usually a good time to end the show. So once this goes, I've got some stuff I got to do, but after, it's the same rigmarole. It's basically I'm going to go and make sure that everybody's YouTube channels are tagged and everything. But I have a funny feeling that most of the people that I'm seeing in the chat room are already subscribed to pretty much all of you. But I'll go ahead and do it anyway.
God damn it, it's the only reason I turned up.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want one more subscriber, Pete?
I'm already 11 ahead of you, so...
Yeah. What? Look, I never really thought of this thing as a contest. I don't really think it's a
Oh,
contest.
sure, when you were
That being
ahead, you never
said-
thought of it as a contest. But, when you
Yeah.
and Cheeky went past me and then recently had that Thor video go up, yeah, suddenly, it's no longer a contest, is it?
So,
I'm losing the contest. Wait a minute, I'm not even in the contest. What the fuck?
no.
Didn't you get your entry form?
I didn't. Are you kidding? Have you seen my desk? It's probably here.
It's down the back of the
buried under
sofa.
something. It's
Yeah.
buried under something, or it's in behind my sofa.
Something.
My house is known as the black hole. If you need to lose something, just bring it here. I guarantee it will be gone in 20 minutes.
That's right. That's
Packard Pokes
kind of
It's a
my
real
outfit, too.
requirement.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm actually starting to get. I'm going to start contracting with the mobsters because if they keep wanting all their bodies to disappear, I said just bring them here. They'll be gone in 20 minutes, guaranteed. You'll never see them again.
So, distracting you, Dana. Or are you supposed to be going somewhere? Are we kind of stopping you? We're sorry. I'd flick my hair for you, but
Yeah.
it
I'm just
doesn't
sad that
quite
you didn't
work.
mail me any.
A lock of his hair.
It's all in the
There you go.
dustbin.
No, I mean he had that whole Davy Jones thing going on for a while, and then it
did
got
leave
longer.
them a tip, though. I did leave them a tip. I wasn't a scumbag. There was a lot of hair to clean up there.
Yeah.
You told them your tip was buy international at 2.5, right?
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah. So, as is customary with life, there's other stuff I got to go do. So, I want to just
wait,
thank
you
my
got a
guest,
life?
PW. Yeah.
Everybody keeps talking about this life they have.
He's got to go control those lice of his, the pubic lice. He's got to go control the pubic lice. They're growing out of control.
Life.
That's right.
Oh, life! I thought you guys said he had a life. What is this life everybody keeps talking about?
no, he already established. Yeah, he has lice. So.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah. I need to go fertilize the farm there. So, whatever. So.
Thanks for hosting, Dana.
So I want
Thank
to
you,
say
Dana.
you're very welcome.
Bye.
So I want to thank you to our guest, PW Swivel, the fabulous Packard Pokes At, the now newly groomed Essence of Thought, and the completely and totally fabulous Practical Magic with her
Yay.
lovely cabinets and
On my
around
books.
the back.
My books, yeah.
No.
kitchen.
I dig books.
Hey.
So thanks again. According to this, the what I'm watching here, I'm still having technical issues, and I think it's just my computer's fucked. So sometimes it's hard for me to concentrate when I know that that this thing's glitching out. But I'll get it one of these days. So thank you so very much. The rest of you are awesome. And
before we go, just a quick question:
fire.
If you put 1 million of you at a computer, will one of you eventually get it right?
No, you have
That's
the complete
right.
works of Monkey Spear.
Yeah,
We're evolved.
There we go.
Really. Yeah.
that's right. I'm gonna have to take. Last time I put some. I put some. What do you call it? Some like a help me video, and I got all these great responses about things that I should try, and I didn't do any of it. So my fault. Basically, it's on me. So, just remember, if I ask you for your advice and you give it, I'm not going to take it. But the fact that you gave it to me in the first place is appreciated. So there we go. It's it's like masturbating. I mean, it's good for me. It doesn't help you, but it's good for me. So.
Masturbation
Anyway.
helps others sometimes. Masturbation helps
sure,
others
sure.
sometimes. Some people who are watching, they get off on it too.
Could definitely control the pet population.
What? I am worried for your
I don't
cat.
know. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Oh, yeah. On that note, right?
Yeah,
Thanks for having me on as well.
yeah. Thanks for having my name up there. Yeah, thanks for that. Nothing like free advertisement, right? Yeah.
We get what we pay for.
right.
Huh?
Yeah, you do.
Hey, they're gonna legalize. You guys, they're gonna legalize gay marriage in the United States, and you know that's going to lead to pedophilia and bestiality and all those other things.
So lock up your
So-
cat.
Oh, the real kinky
I'm just-
shit, you know?
Yeah. You know.
Lock up the dogs. Lock up the
Yeah.
cats. Lock up the cows.
but not the goats. The goats and the sheep.
No. You don't want to marry a goat. You get rammed a lot, unless you're into that. In which case,
Rammed a lot. That's good. Wasn't that one of King Arthur's knights? Sir Ram.
Yes, it was ram a lot. Yeah. He was never in the meetings because he was too busy ramming
say it.
something or
That's right.
someone.
What's your take on that, Sir Ramdalot?
I do say.
Oh,
I'm gonna go watch Monty Python.
Yeah. There we go. Ramdalot! Ramdalot!
Start in your general direction.
It is a silly place.
Very serious.
Oh, dear. All right. Thanks a lot, everybody. Go enjoy your Sunday, and go Hawks. And I say that to any hockey
How about
fans
the
out there
Chipmunks?
that might be rooting for their team. Yeah, go Chipmunks.
How about the Chipmunks? The Chipmunks versus the Hawks?
No, it isn't. It's a used
What about the pubic lice?
what about them?
Oh.
What about them? That's what I want to say.
I'm sure they want to play hockey too.
Well, yeah. The Christian fundamentalists are trying to destroy pubic lice, although I'm not entirely too sure how.
That's why I
praying it
choose
away.
abstinence.
Remember to teach your pubic hair to have abstinence, and that's why you don't get pubic lice.
Don't forget to shave the Garden of Eden. God likes it clean.
Oh, could you imagine the life before razors? It's like the Garden of Eden looks like a 70s porno movie.
Hiding the snake in the grass. This is what you don't invite an 18-year-old on.
No, not especially a young horny one. That's bad.
Not bad.
Bad.
There we go.
Yes.
No. Is it okay? Show of hands if there's anybody in this chat room that's not old enough to be Peter's dad.
I can't be his dad.
There you go.
Ah, bitch.
Good point.
There we go. See, there's always an exception to the rule.
Yeah.
I'm not old enough to be my father.
Wait a minute,
Always
can
an
you be your
exception to the
father?
rule.
Wait a
No.
minute.
Well,
Peter, can you
maybe
be
if
your
I
own
was
father?
God. Maybe if I was God.
There we go.
Oh,
Well, God is a shitty parent, so
I did have
Yeah.
Jesus' hair till recently.
yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. Maybe we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Keep making what you're making. Here's to good videos, and we'll see you all later. Thanks for the people that sat through this and the people that are going to watch it in the future. I'm all about the future, so
think of the future.
say goodnight,
Those are-
Crazy.
those are
Yeah,
amazing.
think of the future.
To the future and beyond.
So take care. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you in a bit.
Bye.
Bye.